he ended up calling the police knowing that I had a warrant, So I'm all cleaning the windows and saw the cops pull up the driveway. I slid down the ladder. Cops saw me run.
To oversimplify, you were a heroin addict.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And you now are going to go to probably 5-6 million, probably 6 million at least this year plus.
Yeah.
So, hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I've got Jack Ryan Borges, and that's gorgeous Borges to you.
How you doing?
Doing very good.
So what are we going to do today?
We're going to talk about your story, and I really appreciate you being on, because I know sometimes things don't go as planned.
Oh, absolutely.
And
twice.
and now we are on, and life is good, and we're going to talk about what happened, and then we're also going to talk about your business as it's growing. I mean, whether it's 5, 6, 7 million this year, you're going.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You're doing some stuff, and you've come a long way.
Yeah.
So, talk to me a little bit about your background, and I know it's an interesting story. So I'm going to start back. Because you were addicted to some substances.
Yeah.
How did all that happen?
So it started with getting surgery on my hand. I got 6 surgeries, so that I was on pain medicine for a while. Not an excuse to abuse the medicine, but unfortunately I did, and it was expensive to buy the Percocet. So I was hanging out with the wrong crowd at the time, and they introduced me to heroin. I tried it because I was hurting, and I was hooked. I loved it. Brought me down a bad path from stealing from people, stealing from my parents, losing a lot of friends. Pretty much, gave up. I didn't lose custody. I was about to. My sister took custody for me to my son until I got better. She gave me the rights back, but that's what went down the story. It's been a roller coaster.
And how does roofing intersect with that? Like, how'd you get into roofing? And has roofing helped your life? I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how I got into roofing, go back a little more, is I'm on drugs. I'm cleaning windows out off a road out in Missouri. It's got woods everywhere. And I'm meeting this guy I got a job for the guy I was working for. Got into it. He ended up calling the police knowing that I had a warrant, So I'm all cleaning the windows, and saw the cops pull up the driveway. I slid down the ladder. Cops saw me run. They blocked off the whole area because they were trying to find me while I was actually on the top 10 most wanted of St. Charles, which I'm not very proud of, but so
that's the thumbnail of this video, by the way.
Yeah. So running through the woods, the cops were screaming at me. They couldn't catch me. It took about 4 or 5 hours of them. They blocked off and secured the whole area. I had some drugs on me. I knew I was about to turn myself in. I was trapped either way, so I did the last of my drugs in the woods, and then.
You were injecting?
Yeah, injected.
So you knew you were about to get hit by cops, and you just.
Oh, I knew I couldn't do it everywhere, dogs, everything. So I ended up just shooting up in the woods, walked a quarter mile down out of the woods. Cops saw me. They said, "Freeze!" And then they literally said, "Please don't run." So they arrested me, got me in the back of the car, and he was like, "Man, you're the fastest dude." I don't know how I was that fast. I guess they were just not wanting to catch me or run into the woods.
Or a little out of shape.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I got arrested, went to jail. I had a couple warrants out in different counties, so paid that warrant, transferred another, paid that warrant, transferred another, ended up in St. Charles County, was there about 6 months, and was clean. I
know you had a time was it a month by yourself in solitary confinement?
Yeah, it was about, I'll say 3 weeks. We'll break it down if you want to get technical. It was about 3 weeks, and that was the most miserable time. I mean, they literally you don't get a blanket, a pillow, the light's on 24 hours, and you literally just get 2 books, a Quran and the Bible. So, I wasn't a big reader back in the day, and these books are very hard to read.
Yeah.
they're like broken down like how Shakespeare is, you know, like it's hard to read like that. So, no, those are the only 2 books I had to read, you know. Get out of jail, long hair. There's a company called Carton Contractors on the street. I had long hair, I had a, bag on me, and walked up to this company. I asked for a job, and the business owner and his manager looked at me like, "Did you just get out of jail?" And I was honest. I said, "Yeah." And we were talking for a minute, and he's like, "Do you know how to do coding?" Told a little white lie. I was like, "Yeah, that's what we did. I did that in jail. I did a couple buildings, so yes." Well, I didn't know what coding was.
Yeah.
I absolutely had no idea. I never roofed besides installing shingles. That's it. Nothing to do with commercial. I don't even know how to install shingles. And I looked it up on YouTube, studied all night, got to the job. He left me there alone. Good thing I studied. I knew how to flex all the pipes, the HVACs, use the flex tape, the flex on top of that, and then the silicone, how to spread it out, how to evenly spread it across the roof. And then within 4 days, he came back, checked out the roof, and he said it was one of the best coating jobs he's ever seen. So I started off like that and moved up to a project manager. And I started outselling his project manager. I'm outselling his sales guys as a project manager. Transitioned to that. I was there at that company about 5 years, and my brain was hungry for more. I was so used to, as an addict, you never go without. You're a hustler. You never see an addict without drugs. A true addict will never be without drugs. He will somehow hustle his whole day, even if it's the wrong type of hustling. Yeah. Either going into old abandoned buildings, stripping copper, which what we did, and cashing it in, and then going and get more drugs. So
you're highly motivated.
Yeah, I am, and I am not. That's why this comes in. These retreats like this come in.
I'm saying when you're a drug addict.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, because if you don't get it, it will be pain.
Oh, the worst pain. I'd rather have the flu than to be dope sick. Yeah. Which it's all on us because we do it to ourselves. I did it to myself. I destroyed everything around me. Everything I touched went rotten. But good thing is, that company gave me a shot. I wanted to grow more. And then another guy came into play. The reason why I left Cardinal is because they just sat me at this position and I couldn't grow more. Great company, by the way. I love the managers. I love the people over there. They're fantastic people. It's just I wanted more. So I kind of did it dirty. The new guy that came over, I just basically quit. Went over and we started our own thing. I'm not going to name names because we went through court and stuff, but the guy ended up taking about $187,000 from me. He's done it to multiple of his employees too. When the office was at my house for 8 months, the first hire was my friend. The office lady was the girl I was with. And then he took that $187,000, gave it to that person, and it's just, I wasn't in the right mood to be in a relationship at that time too either, because it's just, I was so angry and hectic. So she did leave, take the money, and
that was a new low for you.
Absolutely. It shot me down. I didn't do drugs. I drank at the time. I was drinking. I wasn't drugging. I'll never go back to drugs the way it put me in that situation. Yeah. But, it put me in such a dark path that, about a week later, I was supposed to have a friend come over, and he didn't show up at the time he was doing it. He came over 4 hours late. That day I ended up taking a knife to my arm and, cutting it here, cutting it over, cutting it up, circling out this way, coming this way, and coming up, as you see right there.
What were you drawing here?
I was drawing my life.
Yeah, you're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's so. He finds me, I wake up in the hospital. It's crazy how God has a plan for people. I look at it like he made my friend late for 4 hours so he could find me. Mm-hmm. Like he knew I already made a decision was doing that, but it wasn't my time, I feel like. Mm-hmm. So got out of that mess, it took a while. Luckily I had an LLC in my name that I haven't touched, that I opened. Jumped into that, started it. It was tough, man. From the beginning, it was just me. I was the project manager. I was the guy that wrote the estimates. I was the guy that had to call on the claim, every single step running it, and it was just stressful. And then slowly, money started coming in. Things started playing into what my vision was. But what got me to that was, I'll go back because I forgot a part, was a good friend of mine, Brody. I say Brody Allen because that's his company that he named after his son. His name is Steven Masterson. Fantastic guy. Runs a great company. He's crushing it. He told me about Revolt. So I went to a free retreat, and I was biased about the whole thing. I'm like, this is another scam. I've been to stuff like this, So I went there with an open mind, and I ended up like breaking me down. I ended up opening up to these guys. I ended up sharing, and they didn't judge me. Didn't pass one sort of judgment on me at all at these retreats, and that's why I believe in them so much. Hunter took us to a cemetery to where we write a eulogy. First, he said, what tombstone draws your attention? What draws you to this tombstone? And then write a little story of why it draws you to. Then, on the second note, write a eulogy about someone that you know, that you love, that loves you, and their perspective about you. Would it be good or bad? What would be your lasting legacy if you died right now? I didn't like it. I wrote it to my son. It's like, Dad, you were there in and out, and I just wrote it out. And then Hunter goes, now go home and read it to your, who you wrote it for. I went home, read it to my son, and we both broke down crying. I mean, it brings me tears even thinking about it right now. But it drew our relationship together so much. I'm so grateful for that aspect in my life to be able to meet these men. To where, on another note, it made me meet Eric Overman. I met him at a members retreat. First time I ever met him, we did a cold plunge. Broke open the ice, sitting there, cocky.
In a lake or something.
Yeah,
right?
lake. And I was a little cocky. Everybody's getting out after 3 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to do another 2 minutes. That's like how stubborn I am. So as I was doing that, they were looking at me like, all right, well, we're going to start asking, let's do some questions. So they started asking me questions, and I was just cold, and I was just spewing out like verbal diarrhea to these guys. Like, I don't even know none of these guys. They broke down crying a little, and they both were accepted to it. And that's how I met Eric. And I knew Eric, out of all the people there, I clicked with him a lot. Even though we didn't talk, I knew he was the guy that I vibed with. Yeah. You can just sense an aura.
And by the way, we're at a thing in the Cayman Islands with Eric. Eric organized it, the Exhale trip, his cult culture thing. Yes, and like, just where we've been scuba diving, just to give a little context to the show.
So we've done a lot of great. Let's get to a story. So yesterday, actually, it was a great story. He was having some trouble with his breathing mask, and he actually did fantastic yesterday. It was the day before. He had to go up. He went back on the boat.
Yeah, I was actually considering, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this.
And I knew you had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a killer like all of us. So you had it. So you performed it right. We're doing our testing. We have to do tests to get our certification, which we've got now. But while we were doing our testing, I'm standing right next to him. We're looking this way. And we had to do one of those where you had to grab, shake, cut off. But the guy's talking, he's doing this to me and him. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I don't know what this means. Apparently that means shark. Well, I turn around, and it's more closer to him, so I was kind of cool because he would have got eaten instead of me. Yeah. Well, you turn around, like, how things seem closer when it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It probably was 10 feet, but it seemed like it was literally 4 feet from you.
Yeah, because
8 foot.
When you're under the water, everything seems closer. Or is it farther away?
Farther away.
Actually, farther away. So it might have been 4 feet.
I don't know.
It definitely, I think somebody said it was 10 feet, so maybe we'll just take their word for it. But the funniest part is I literally just kind of tried to stay kneeling.
Oh, we had to. And he was just like, all right, what's performing? I couldn't even pay attention to him. No, and it was circling.
And they were just like, apparently it's normal. If you're a scuba diver, in certain areas, they don't attack you. Unless you kick them in the head or something.
Yeah, they're not great white. If you saw a great white, then you would have a problem. That's what they said. But these white tips and these black tips and these nurse sharks, and I believe it was a white tip, So
what is it?
It's a little bigger than a nurse. Well, it's aggressive, but there was like a group of us, so it wasn't gonna do nothing. It was only 6 foot or 8 foot, anyways. It wasn't a massive.
Yeah, 6 or 8 foot. Yeah. So, anyways, I had to think about it like it was a figment of my imagination. I literally, because I was having. My main thing I was focused on was not being anxious.
No, yeah.
Not being anxious.
Yeah.
And he's calming me down, so I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I'm focusing on not being anxious and focusing on my breath. And I turn around and there's a motherfucking shark. And I have to turn back around, and I do.
And perform your test.
And trying to pretend like I didn't just see a shark.
Yeah.
And I literally kind of put it like a figment of my imagination, but I just said like the most important thing is that I stay calm and keep breathing.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that would be a much bigger problem than a shark at this point in the game.
Oh, it was majestic down there, man.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, like, you're so focused on your gear and how to breathe and the situation down there. Literally, for the first time in a while, I wasn't thinking about work or anything. I didn't think about anything besides what was in front of me, what I was seeing, because trying to take that all in, because my whole life I've been a land dweller.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then we think we're these mermen and we go in the water and
I want to go down again, man. I just got the chills thinking about it.
now, dude, I'm going to start doing it all the time. I suggest everybody should go outside their comfort zone and try something new. Like I would have never done scuba diving if it wasn't for Eric's group, the Cult Culture. It actually gave me a task to do, and I finished, and I felt good at it. I mean, I did the book, I did the open water, the pool dive, and then here we did the pool dive.
Yeah, and I really feel like this is a good, it calms you down. You have to be calm.
Oh, you have to.
You have to. So like if you are struggling with anxiety, this is an interesting test.
It is, because if you can get past that step and get down there, I mean, I think it would help out with a lot of people coping with anxiety. It may cause a little at first, but it actually gets rid of more when you actually follow through with it.
And I like had to like prepare my mind. Like I think it was Tuesday night or something. I was literally like, I was thinking about death a lot.
Oh, you were visualizing it in the pool. I saw you in the pool. You were like, all right, I'm gonna practice. It was like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I was doing stuff trying to prepare, but it's a great experience. So yeah, that's definitely something I would recommend. And doing stuff you're scared of, right? Like doing stuff you're scared of is interesting. It makes life, because I literally thought, like as we were in the car going, I think maybe the second day, like, you know, they say most people are scared to die, but they should be scared that they never live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's scarier.
It's a lottery ticket to be alive.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'd rather live fully though. You know what I mean? A life where I'm not like experimenting and trying things, not being an idiot, but like trying things and pushing a little bit, like is so much more interesting.
Oh, it is. And I never knew that concept coming out of an addiction and starting my own business and then joining these groups. I never knew that I needed this in my life until I had it. Now I know that I can't live without it because I get held accountable from you guys. If I make a goal and I tell someone, they're checking up on me, making sure I'm following through with it, you know, and that's what I love about this group. You know, there's no getting away with anything, and everyone's here to support you too. If they know you're putting in the work, they're here, they got your back, and that's why I joined the Cult Culture movement. You know, to meet guys like you, like I mean, it's like sitting with a celebrity of the roofing, the roofing industry right now.
Oh,
you know?
you're too nice, man.
Like it's just been an honor to be able to sit and pick your brain and then find out we have a lot in common ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like that weird stuff that is in common.
Like peanut butter pickle sandwiches.
Yes, I thought I said it out loud, and he was like, "Those are really good." And I was like, "No one eats that but me."
Oh yeah, I grew up eating that. Yeah, I don't. It might be a poor person's food. We ate a lot of hot dogs and saltines and like American cheese and then peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. Yeah. But that honestly, I can't even think of anything better right now.
You know, and then I would have never known about structuring my business the way it's structured now without being a part of these groups, going to the roofing conventions, going to these academies and all that. Like, I thought I was doing good. We pulled in just right off the bat $2 million this year, and I'm like, oh, we got this money, and we still have jobs we haven't even finished. So if you really break it down, we're gonna be.
You already did $2 million this year.
Yes.
So you probably will do 6.
Yeah. Well, we already have 88 more jobs. We signed with contingencies and contracts right now with more coming in. It's just if I didn't get that consultant, I would have literally screwed myself. Like. I'm not a numbers guy, you know.
You got somebody focused on QuickBooks and dashboards and key numbers.
Yeah. So tracking. QuickBooks.
Peace out, dudes. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, sir.
You guys are badasses.
I love you guys.
This was really fun. Thank you for helping us.
Absolutely. Sorry about that, guys. But coming up, being able to put processes in play, knowing where my numbers are at, getting real-time numbers and losses, you know, finding out that 2023 I took a hit on some things, not technically on the insurance side, meaning like it took too long to do jobs, so those second checks weren't released. It was over the 8-month mark. Some of them were almost a year. You know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, everything was so backed up. I didn't have a system to where someone was calling the insurance and getting extensions, doing those things. We still did those jobs for the customers. The customers didn't lose out.
Yeah.
You know, we still did our duty and held our integrity and still did all the work we were supposed to.
If you truly believe in what you're doing and you want to be the best version of yourself and you want to build a great organization, there's no other place to do that besides the Roofing Academy.
So it really took you getting this QuickBooks and numbers focused consultant that helped you.
Yeah.
This. Like if you had to suggest this to somebody else, like who are they looking for? Like an accountant?
You need
type person?
I'd say a bookkeeper, you know, that can get you real-time numbers on the jobs and to tell you what's coming in and coming out. And then also you need an office manager that knows how to put everything in Nimbus, strategize, call the insurance, you know, doing supplements, making sure those checks are getting picked up, following up with all those things. We have actually 2 staff now, but at first you need your office running solid, because if you don't have your office running solid, this is my feeling, you know, other people could have different views on it, is your sales guys on it need to be happy. You know, if they're you can turn in all these jobs, but if you don't have anybody in the back end helping with them and doing it, then those jobs aren't getting completed. And come to show, that's what happened to me. You know, I lost out on a lot of money. So now we got all these processes in play, bookkeeping. We got tracking charts from 2023, 2024. We got QuickBooks hooked up to everything. Everybody's scanning everything into Nimbus. Everything flows through it. And so the efficiency right now is running good. Not to say there's still kinks that we got to work out, because all this is new. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it put me in a position to where I felt better, to where I could leave. You know, this is the first time I was able. There's been times I could leave, but it was me leaving. You know what I mean? And putting the business on hold, and it was just my customers. Now there's multiple sales guys, customers, and all that. So I felt like I always had to be there, and not. You know, I've missed multiple retreats this year because of the business, you know, and then this one I was like, I can't miss, you know what I mean? I can't, I put too much effort, time, I passed my book and test, you know, there's gonna be people on there, I need to be able to breathe, I need to be able to just sometimes just decompress.
Yeah, what would you say is a analogy or something that you feel like related to scuba diving that relates to business?
Ooh, let me think here. Analogy, relatable to my business.
Yeah, what were things you were thinking about as you're going down, or like, do you think in that way? Like,
yeah, so when I was going down, I was thinking more about my manager. I mean, this might not be what you're talking about, but I was thinking about how much he's helped me, how much he's been there, how much he's supported me, and how he holds me accountable. I was thinking about how I need to be more open with the office, give them more of a role to do. Instead of,
did some deals close while you were here?
Yes.
Deals were closed while you're gone?
Yesterday, no. Today, yes. But that's the great thing about that tracker.
Yeah.
It has date and stamp, so I can know, like I can manage it through the network.
Yeah. So
I could see, hey, nothing's getting turned in. I didn't see anything uploaded. And if something was turned in, it's not uploaded. Yeah. You know, and it's great. A 2024 job slipped onto the 2023, and I was able to call them like, hey, you know, and change all that. So it's nice to be able to see real-time activity when you're not there. So you can still, you know, tweak and check on them and know, and still have some sort of a control to make sure things are still going good.
For me, one of the things I thought about definitely is that, well, because I had a little bit tougher go of it when I was down there as far as the ability. My thing is the mask, because we had to do tests, and we're doing tests where you have to totally flood the mask and take it off.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm a nose breather, I was really struggling with the idea, because I'm thinking I'm gonna get water in my nose, and then I'm gonna be like struggling with the breathing thing. And if you get something goes wrong, and what I had to realize is I have to trust this thing.
Oh, absolutely.
This is like daylight. This is like sunshine and air up there. I have it down there and underneath. and my brain can thrive with this thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And so for me, I guess one of the things was just, this is our instinct, as an entrepreneur. I think you have to trust your instinct.
Yeah.
And I'm underneath there. You can't lose your nerve when you're a business owner. You're taking risk, massive risk. And I'm underneath the water. I'm taking massive risk, but I'm trusting my instinct in this case. And I think I'm processing all this now. But I really thought a lot about being figuring out who to trust. Because if you don't, I've jumped out of an airplane before. I've skydived.
Yeah, I've skydived too. That's cool.
And you have to trust the person you're with. Because man, I had conspiracy theories in my mind that this guy's gonna kill me or something like that.
Oh, absolutely.
My brain's freaking out. And I still do it. And I'm thankful that we chose and we had coaches or whatever here that were
fantastic.
they pulled. He basically I was trying to go up and he stopped me. He held me and he goes, and that, that's getting decent either coaches, mentors, or consultants that can tell you when you might be off, or homies.
I almost, because you were shooting up so fast, you could have hurt yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know what the analogy is there, but I would say you definitely could hurt yourself if you tried to get out of entrepreneurship really quick.
You had all the equipment to help you run what you're supposed to do down there. Just that's your team, basically.
Yeah.
You got the hose,
And
you
your
got
systems.
your regulator, you got your device where you're checking out your gauge where the time that you need to stay in certain areas because you're moving up. So it's
I would say that I thought about that. That's kind of we're not all meant to exit our business the next few years.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of private equity going on right now in the business, but maybe some of us aren't primed for that yet. Mm-hmm. And so to shoot up early, it would hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
But in my case, I know I've got a long ways till I want to sell, and a lot of roofing companies are in that spot where they know they want to increase their valuation significantly. Mm-hmm. Don't shoot up early.
Yeah.
Don't be an idiot. You have a long,
don't premature,
lovely die. Yeah, exactly. The evac.
Yeah.
Don't prematurely evac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we've got a long, beautiful ride, and you're gonna miss some stuff. There's some really beautiful stuff to see, and I feel like we got to tell a little bit more about this dive. This is kind of a dive podcast.
Oh no, absolutely. The day was another fantastic day. You see that turtle? It looked like it was off Nemo.
Yeah, how big was that thing? You were closer to it.
I was pretty close, so I know it was this big.
You were chasing it a little bit.
Yeah, I got in trouble. I didn't know what I was doing. I just got certified. I'm a new diver, so.
So you was kind of going quick.
Dude, I was so ecstatic. I've never seen a turtle.
Yeah, it feels like magic.
So yeah, I wanted to touch it.
Yeah,
but it's okay that you touch it. It's just don't go up when you're at 90 feet or 80 feet. Don't start just going like this. Trying to chase a turtle, because
that's the big.
That was
the analogy. Sorry, I'm going to stop with the analogies, but that would be the big promise of the private equity company, the turtle.
Yeah.
But no, it's so incredibly magical down there. I was swimming. Apparently, there are terrapins. There's just these giant fish. They're I don't know, that
they
big.
They're shiny.
They're fucking badass.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all swimming in a swarm. And I got into this swarm. I did finally touch the fin of one, but they're a little jumpy. They don't want you to touch them down there.
You see them shoot that lionfish?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, but they're an invasive species.
Yeah.
Here, so.
I thought he was gonna grab it, pocket it, and we're gonna fry it up.
That's why I was confused. But then he told me the story of it's an invasive species. It literally kills one will kill over 1 million babies a year.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. And sharks down here don't know that it's food because they think it's poisonous because it's invasive. For hundreds of years they haven't been here.
Still looks like food though.
It does.
I still
it
want to
delicious.
eat that. Yeah. I was looking at it, I was like,
I was like, are we gonna eat that? And then he left it, and I was like, I'm kind of disappointed now.
Yeah.
Join the future of roofing at offers.roofle.com. Stand out, save time, earn more.
To oversimplify, you were a heroin addict.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And you now are going to go to probably 5-6 million, probably 6 million at least this year plus.
Yeah.
So from that journey, Do you feel some type of redemption story? Like, what do you think about that transformation? Like, how do you feel?
It's weird to me because I don't even, when I look back and think of the old me, I can't even fathom that was me, because what landed me to get in jail was like I was breaking into homes, I was stealing things, I was not a very polite and very honest person. I was doing things that no one should do. I mean, how dare I break into someone's home? How dare I put scare into someone's family like that? What I mean? I didn't know if they had a family or not. Breaking into homes.
So do you believe in redemption?
Yeah, I do believe in redemption. Everybody can be. I mean, look at Saul. His name's Paul from the Bible. I mean, supposedly he murdered thousands of people. So Jesus, God forgives everyone. I mean, whatever you're spiritual in. I'm spiritual in Christianity. A little bit of Buddhism too. But everybody can be redeemed. You just got to be faithful and true to what you're doing. And
how do you keep and sorry to get deep here, but how do you keep the guilt from drawing you back?
I got kids, man.
Yeah.
And they depend on me. My son is an amazing 20-year-old that how dare I leave him absent of a father when I was on drugs, I'm grateful to have I'm grateful for my son to even forgive me for the mistakes I've done. Our relationship after I'd done that had blossomed. He's my best friend. I also had a daughter that I've neglected for the last 11 years, that the last 2 years I've just been back in the relationship, trying to make a relationship. I know I have to earn it. Like 2 years ain't enough out of 11 years. But I'm earning it slowly. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to and asked of me and more. So it's just stay humble and stay true to what you want to do, because I definitely don't want to be an addict. I'll think about it. You get those 7-second highs. Once an addict, always an addict. It's just how you deal with it when those things come up. And I know that my life is so much better right now. I'm able to help people, and that's what I thrive for. I love helping people. I have a business where I have 5 employees that depend on me to help them pay for their bills and things like that. I have great bonus structures. Just the other day, my sales manager, I started him on a salary. Now he's salary plus his commission. You know what I mean? Just being able to know that you've grown so much that you can give out those type of commissions and help other people out, and started donations, and being able to help Children's Hospital out with a whole bunch of donations and proceeds from each job for the next 25 days and so.
And I want to say, one, I'm incredibly grateful for this week. You calmed me down. You're a very calming presence, and it definitely feels like you've done some healing in the last few years. Like, I feel like you have a calming and healing, like a lot of calming and healing qualities in your, the way you interact with people. I also want to say I love you.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you.
That's why I wanted to get everybody that never tried sound bath or done it, I wanted them to experience that.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was this morning. If you want to.
So this morning, I heard guys talking about energy and this, so without anybody knowing, I called up and found someone on the island that drove through our place that does a healing exercise with sound bowls and other instruments, and she sings in 3 different languages, different type of vocals that have healing hurts in it. And I'll tell you what, man, that was actually one of the better ones I've been to. So you were lucky with that.
And she's also almost like a little worship. It was kind of work. Yeah, it was motivational. It felt like, and she was like the sun inside of us, and she's like, God, it was such a beautiful she was really good at it. Basically,
extremely good. She knew we were. It felt like she knew we were business owners, and she was putting in positivity in our life, basically good vibes for our business, the world. I mean, the ocean, the water. I mean, life itself. And
literally, man, it just
my hands are so heavy.
It made me tingle. She talked a lot about gratefulness. Man, it was just a pleasant experience. So if you get a chance to do that, I mean, I wouldn't have thought it was going to be that cool, for sure.
No, absolutely. And I was standoffish about it first. Well, lay on the ground, close your eyes, and people rub some bowls around. No, that stuff actually really works. It worked for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And somehow it's just shut off for the last 100, and now it's picking back up.
Yeah, I mean, the sun's coming up. We've got our feet in the ground, and we're meditating and listening to beautiful noises in a soothing voice, telling us to essentially connect with nature and God.
Oh yeah.
I think that's positive.
Your body needs those certain hurts to heal you. I mean, maybe not everybody believes in it, but that's something I believe in, and it works. It works for me, and I've seen it work for a lot of people, hundreds of people too.
Yeah, I've definitely, for some reason, energy and vibrations, and I don't want to go down a complete rabbit hole on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I 100% felt some very positive energy and vibrations at this retreat, and I think, and basically the beginning of it was just like they were talking about relationships, and we're kind of setting aside business for a second, focusing on relationships. And yeah, I'm doing content and stuff like that. I'm sure you had business to do, here and there, but we did rest. And that's the other thing about scuba diving. It forces you to stop. You can't pull out your phone when you're down there.
Absolutely. And that's the enjoyment of that. You know? And I
totally focused on the moment.
I hate that I'm so glued to my phone. Like I used to not. When I was an addict, I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
5-6 years. I didn't have 7 years actually.
Yeah.
I didn't have no phone.
Yeah.
And I didn't need one. Now I'm like, I have to have my phone, and it's like I have to content this, and I hate it that my mind's set like that. So I know I need to set a goal to where I'm only on social media a couple times a week or so, just for work, nothing else.
Well, if you have any tips, people watching this, if you have any tips, comment below with your tips for how to get over phone addiction or how to work on using your phone less. We're gonna wrap up. I really appreciate you being on. Could you give the .com for your business?
Oh, absolutely. It's JackaroofS.com, JackaroofS.com.
Is it Jackaroo Roofs on social?
What'd you say?
Is it Jackaroo Roofs on social as well?
Yes.
On social media?
Yes.
Awesome. So check them out. Follow
social
them.
media is Jackaroo Roofing and Construction. I'm sorry.
Jackaroo Roofing and Construction on social media. And the podcast is put on by hookagency.com. Hook Agency all over social media. Please comment, subscribe. And if you're listening to it on Spotify or iTunes, please rate and review the podcast. It really does help us get found. And I'm just always a little bit blessed when I see 300 people or something listen or watch the show, or I don't know. So it's anywhere between 150 to 1,000, and it's kind of a cool. We get to talk to a bunch of people, and I really, really do appreciate you guys that are listening and watching. It does matter, and I think that even this show can be a source of positivity to roofing business owners and people leading roofing companies that are selling. And I hope to continue
any
that.
Entrepreneur looking for insight on things.
Yeah.
This is not just for roofers. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
Really, anyone that wants to be a part of something and is serious about, going all in. Give it your all. Go all in. Don't hold nothing back. It's definitely worth it. You know.
And dude, I think this has been a great story of redemption and. Powerful for folks that may be in that situation where they feel hopeless. So thank you.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.